Today, this is going to be a really informative session. Today, we have with us Dr. Deepika Jangam ma'am from TFRI Jabalpur. Uh, I am privileged enough to introduce her to all of the delegates because this session is going to be really informative and you'll learn a lot from this. Ma'am, please allow me to introduce. Dr. Deepika Jangam ma'am has completed her PhD in soil science from Acharya N.G. Ranga Agricultural University in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. Ma'am joined ICFRE in 2021 as a soil scientist and is presently serving as Scientist C in the Department of Forest Ecology and Climate Change at ICFRE Tropical Forest Research Institute, Jabalpur. Ma'am's early research focused on the application of nanoscale nutrients in agricultural crops, assessing their effects on germination, productivity, quality, nutrient uptake, nutrient biofortification, and cost economics. At TFRA, her research shifted towards evaluating nanofertilizers for the growth and performance of forest tree species and exploring their potential in reclaiming sodic soils. She has played a significant role in the preparation of forest soil health cards for Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Maharashtra. Apart from this, ma'am has been actively engaged in capacity building programs, conducting training for forest officials, including rangers and deputy rangers of MP, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra State Forest Department on various aspects of forest soil management. Ma'am, we are privileged to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for nice introduction. I will take 1 minute for sharing of my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is my slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Um, Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, students. Topic of my presentation is soil health, protection from chemicals and stubble burning. In this presentation, I would be talking about the basics about the soil health, as well as what are the sustainable ways to consider while doing the agriculture, sustainable agriculture, as well as about the talking about this stubble burning. Before going into the actual topic, I wanted to tell about the few facts about the soil. Every day we will be seeing the soil and beneath our foot. During rainy season, we will see that if some soil is coming with our shoes, means we will say that as a dirt is coming with our shoes. But few facts are we have to know about the few facts about the soil. That is, 95% of our food comes from the soil, and here I would like to highlight that if we are examining 2 to 3 centimeter of the soil, the 2 to 3 centimeter of soil will develop in the 1,000 years. That means 1,000 years time will be taken for the soil formation of about 2 to 3 centimeters. And whatever chemical elements or plant nutrients we are getting from the soil is out of 18 elements, 15 elements are from the soil. And if we are talking about the microorganisms, if we are taking 1 gram of soil into the spoon, means we are having several thousands of different taxa, as well as 200 meters of fungal hyphae, as well as billion of bacterial cells in the only 1 gram of soil, as well as we know that 365 days microorganisms will work for the sustain the plant growth, as well as improve the agriculture production itself. Here I wanted to show in the figures, like again I wanted to press here that 2 to 3 centimeter of soil will form in thousands of years, and as well as that soil is the second largest carbon stock on the terrestrial atmosphere. Here in this image, you people can see that here I have highlighted this some ecosystem services what soil can provide. That means nowadays everyone talking about the ecosystem services. Simply, I wanted to explain about the ecosystem services. That means if soil we are taking as a ecosystem, whatever benefits we are getting from the soil, that is called the ecosystem services. For better understanding ecosystem services, that is benefits from the soil has been divided into four categories. That is provisioning services, that means whatever soil we are using for the construction materials, that is one of the provisioning service, and it will act as a foundation for the human infrastructure, as well as we are getting the food, fiber, fuel from the soil, and it is also habitat for the so many microorganisms. While coming to the supporting services, it will act as a better medium for the nutrient cycling for the growth of the plants, as well as nowadays everyone talking about the climate change. Climate change means is due to the increasing the development carbon dioxide. In that case, we will be listening about the carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration means mostly we will see the plants or tree species for the sequestering the carbon, most of the atmospheric carbon. But soil plays an important role along with the vegetation for the carbon sequestration. That is called as an regulating services. These are the four services, different benefits we are getting from the soil. If you are seeing soil, what is the relation of a soil with the sustainable development goals? As we know that 17 sustainable development goals are there. For each and every sustainable goal, it is a link to the soil. In this image, people can see so many services are related to the sustainable development goals. Well, coming to the actual topic, that is in soil health. If we are talking about the sustainable agriculture, soil health places an important foundation. That means, in simple terms, soil health means capacity of a soil to function as a living, dynamic ecosystem that supports the plant, animals, and the humans. In simple terms, if I wanted to say, means what is the capacity to serve as support the plants' health? That is called as the soil health. That means that is the capacity of the soil. If we are talking about the soil health, means we will be listening about three elements, that is properties. Soil is having three different properties, that is physical, chemical, and the biological properties. If you are talking about the soil health, means the soil has healthy soil, means that a healthy soil has to be having good soil texture and resistant to the degradation. Then only we can say that soil is unhealthy. Well, coming to the chemical properties, I am not going into the chemical the scientific terms. Basic terms only I am explaining. If you are having any problems, means problem means you can intervene in middle. I think till now you people are I don't have any issues. If any student having any doubt, means you can ask her. Shall I go further?
Yes, ma'am. And they'll ask their questions and doubts in the last of the session,
Okay, sir.
as it is planned. And please go ahead, ma'am. If it's possible, be bilingual. कुछ बच्चे हिंदी माध्यम के भी हैं.
अच्छा, sure.
If possible, ma'am.
Okay,
और
sir.
thank you, ma'am.
ओके सर, थैंक यू. अगर हम लोग हेल्दी सॉइल का बात करेंगे, तो हेल्दी सॉइल जब होना है, उसमें फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज जो है, गुड सॉइल स्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए, वो उसमें हाई सॉइल ऑर्गेनिक मैटर होना चाहिए, और वो भी केमिकल्स और टॉक्सिन से फ्री होना चाहिए, और सॉइल न्यूट्रिएंट्स भी ऑप्टिमम लेवल होना चाहिए, और बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज अगर देखा है तो उसमें डेंस वेजिटेशन कवर को वो सपोर्ट करना चाहिए, और लार्ज एंड डाइवर्स पॉपुलेशन ऑफ बेनिफिशियल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स इसमें होना चाहिए. तभी हम लोग उस सॉइल को बोलेंगे हेल्दी सॉइल. देन ओनली वी विल कॉल दैट वन एज ए हेल्दी सॉइल. Well, coming to the soil health in relation to the so many goals of an India, here I have mentioned few goals. In case of forest or agriculture, we are having the few goals. हमारे पास बहुत सारे गोल्स है. ऐसे हम लोग ऐसे है कि बहुत सारे वृक्ष लगाते रहते हैं. उसमें है कि फॉरेस्ट कवर हमको बढ़ाना है, उससे हमारा कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन होगी. या एग्रीकल्चर के हम लोग देखें तो बहुत सारे प्रैक्टिसेस हम लोग आजकल कर रहे हैं कि नेचुरल फार्मिंग या ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग. ये सारे यही कि एक साइड से कार्बन को सिक्वेस्ट्रेट करने हैं वेजिटेशन में या सॉइल में, एक और भी गोल्स है, जैसे ग्रीन इंडिया मिशन के अलग गोल्स है, और रेड प्लस में इतना कार्बन सिक्वेस्ट्रेशन करनी है हमको। ये सारे गोल्स अगर हम लोग एक साइड देखें तो उसको अचीव करना है तो हमारा सॉइल हेल्दी होना चाहिए। मतलब ये कि जो भी प्लांटेशन हम लोग कर रहे हैं उसमें जब सॉइल हेल्दी नहीं है तो जितना भी प्लांटेशन करेंगे उसमें सक्सेस नहीं मिलता है। Here I wanted to explain about soil as a linkage between the whatever goals, for example, sustainable agriculture, या natural farming, या organic farming, या climate smart agriculture. If we are taking goals, all these goals as on one side, and another side strategies, whatever practices we are doing, we are taking as in strategies means in between soil will be acting as a linkage. If healthy soil is not there means whatever strategies we are applying for the achieving that goal, you can't achieve that goal. मतलब ये है कि हमारे पास सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर को हम लोग एक साइड गोल में अगर लिया है तो बहुत सारे स्ट्रैटेजीज हम लोग अपनाते हैं, लेकिन उस स्ट्रैटेजीज को हम लोग गोल की साइड लेके जाने तो सॉइल हेल्थ का जरूरी है। मैंने ये पहले भी बोल चुके हैं, सॉइल हेल्थ 3 प्रॉपर्टीज में हमको ये डिपेंड करते हैं, जैसे फिजिकल, केमिकल, बायोलॉजिकल। हियर में अगर साइंटिफिकली बोलना चाहते हैं तो फिजिकल, दैट मीन्स सॉइल टेक्सचर हो, बल्क डेंसिटी, पोरोसिटी, हम लोग साइंटिफिकली ये टर्म्स बात करते हैं। लेकिन ये जो फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज है, केमिकल में अगर हम लोग नॉर्मल बेसिकली देखा है तो बहुत सारे प्लांट न्यूट्रिएंट्स है, वो सारे केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज में आते हैं। माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स, वो सारे बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉपर्टी। ये सारे 3 प्रॉपर्टीज अगर अच्छा है तो हमारी सॉइल अच्छा है। अगर ये अभी तक हम लोगों ने सॉइल हेल्थ क्या होता है, सॉइल हेल्थ किस चीज में डिपेंड करती है, अगर सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर में सॉइल हेल्थ का क्या रोल है हम लोग देखा। लेकिन अगर सॉइल हेल्थ का हम लोग ये ग्रेट क्राइसिस में है अभी। मतलब ये कि जैसे मेरे टाइटल में है फ्री फ्रॉम प्रोटेक्शन फ्रॉम केमिकल्स एंड स्टबल बर्निंग, उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स है उसमें, फैक्टर्स है, जैसे सॉइल हेल्थ डिटोरिएट होते जा रहे हैं, जैसे हेर्बिसाइड्स और पेस्टिसाइड्स और केमिकल में आएंगे, और इनअप्रोप्रिएट यूज ऑफ द फर्टिलाइजर्स, or otherwise soil erosion, this is a natural practice, and another side series in the sludge or contamination from the heavy metals. अगर हम लोग और ज्यादा देखें तो सॉइल हेल्थ इश्यूज क्या है हमारे इंडिया लेवल पे, बहुत सारे हम लोग सुनते हैं कि लैंड डिग्रेड होते जा रहे हैं, मतलब लैंड का क्वालिटी कम होते जा रहे हैं। जैसे लैंड क्वालिटी कम होते जा रहे हैं तो लैंड डिग्रेडेशन की क्या रीजंस है, इसमें सॉइल इरोजन है, विंड इरोजन है, सॉइल सैलिनिटी, सॉइल एसिडिटी। Here I have mentioned what is the area under the land degradation. For example, soil erosion, 74.21 billion hectares of area is under soil erosion problem. For example, few students are maybe from Madhya Pradesh. They will be knowing Morena. In Morena, eroded lands are ravine lands are there. There, soil sodicity problem is there. Gully erosion mainly basically problem. Under this all these issues, land soil health is deteriorating day by day. Here we can see in numerical terms annually 5.3 billion tons of soil is under the loss, and while coming to the crop production losses, these are the different factors responsible for the land degradation. And one more factor here specifically I wanted to highlight is fertilizer consumption. In these graphs you can see right from 1963, in this graph I have shown till 2017, but nowadays also so many farmers are using inappropriate fertilizers. Now there is a need to see the what are the different alternative practices we have to follow in order to say that is agriculture practices are in a sustainable manner. Here in this slide I have cut that what are the few strategies we can follow for the sustainable agriculture. अगर हम लोग ये देखें तो सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर के लिए कुछ कुछ प्रैक्टिसेस हमको करना पड़ेगा। जैसे फार्मर्स का हम लोग कभी इंटरेक्ट करते समय हमको ये उसको समझाने के लिए जरूरत है। जैसे हाँ कुछ हमारी फील्ड्स में भी देखते हैं कि कुछ मशीनरी यूज करके टिलेज प्रैक्टिसेस करते हैं। उसमें है कि टिलेज बहुत ज्यादा करने से भी सॉइल को नुकसान होती है। उसको हम लोग ये बोलते हैं कि रिड्यूस टिलेज, कितना कम टिलेज प्रैक्टिसेस कर सकते हैं उतना हम लोग करने के लिए उसको समझाने के लिए जरूरत है। जैसे एक साइड केमिकल स्ट्रेटजी से, जैसे मैंने बताया इनअप्रोप्रिएट फर्टिलाइजर यूज, उसको हम लोग एक साइड सॉइल टेस्ट बेस्ड फर्टिलाइजेशन में हमको जाने के लिए जरूरत है। और ये सारे प्रैक्टिसेस में एक एक स्लाइड में एक एक ना मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करना चाहूंगी। मैंने जैसे बोला ये टीएच प्रैक्टिसेस, मतलब हम लोग ये बोलते कि सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में क्रॉप रोटेशन अपनाना चाहिए। मतलब ये कि इंस्टेड ऑफ मोनोक्रॉपिंग वी हैव टू गो विद द क्रॉप रोटेशन। That means in one season they are going with the cereals like wheat or paddy or some other crops. Means next season they have to go for the plantation of pulses that will benefit the soil through the nitrogen fixation. And along with the crop rotation, we have to suggest reduction of the tillage. That is, if possible, no tillage or otherwise reduce number of the tillage practices. And whatever the soil, for example, eroded soils means we will say that one as cover crops. That soil has to be stopped from the erosion. Erosion means that soil has to be covered with the grasses at least. And one more practice along with this agricultural practice, agronomic practices, one more practice we will suggest is green manuring. As we know that some green manure crops are there like Sesbania speciosa and Crotalaria gentiana and so many pulses are there. All these green manuring crops we are planting in our agriculture fields or otherwise. Green manuring, that means whatever green manure crops are there, we have to collect that leaves and we have to incorporate in our soil. That means after decomposition, it will releases this so many nutrients. It will benefit the soil health. And nowadays we are suggesting to use the biofertilizers. In nowadays, so many biofertilizers are available in the market. These are the few biofertilizers I wanted to highlight here. And these are the potentials of the biofertilizers in the aspect of different crops are under different crops. Different biofertilizers are having the different benefits. For example, rhizobium, nitrogen fixation. It is and plays an important role in the nitrogen fixation. It is about 20 to 50 kgs per hectare of a nitrogen is used to be fixed by using the rhizobium biofertilizers. Then coming to the another one, along with the biofertilizers, nowadays we are suggesting to you go for the biochar. Biochar is in plant-based material. Whatever in next topic, in the after few slides also, I will be talking about the stubble burning. Whatever crop residues are in the farmers' fields, they can go with the formation of a biofertilizer that will benefit the soil health. In this image, you people can see that if a farmer is applying the biofertilizer in that field, that will slowly releases the soil nutrients and it will help in the sequestration of the carbon one side, and it will increases the water holding capacity, porosity, and it will reduces the bulk density of the soil. That means whatever nutrient loss, leaching losses are there, it will be decreased by the application of an biochar. In other side, we can see that biofertilizer application, it will increases the microbial population of that soil, and as well as indirectly it will reduces the denitrification losses. And coming to another practice, that is we are suggesting instead of going for the individual application, like till now I explained about green manuring one side, biofertilizers, yeah, organic manures. Instead of going for the single practice, we will suggest you to go for the integrated nutrient management. That means integrated. Combinedly, we have to go for all the components has to be there in that nutrient management practices. What is the basic components of integrated nutrient management? It will include chemical fertilizer, organic manures, that means leguminous cropping in the monocropping, and biofertilizers and crop residue recycling. This will be explained in detail in the next slides, and green manure. What in this, I have taken one table from the publishing literature itself. We can see simply, you people can have you look about this crop treatment. Highlighted red color highlighted one, you can see crop residues, green manuring, and fertilizer nitrogen. It is increased the yield of an rice, as well as it increased the organic carbon content of an soil. That means instead of going for the single fertilizer application, we are going with the integrated nutrient management. It will increases the crop productivity and organic carbon of the soil, and as well as it reduces the denitrification and the nitrous oxide emission losses. Till now, we have seen the different practices, but whatever practice farmer is going to apply in his field, but he should follow the 4R nutrient stewardship. Every time I used to highlight about this one in all my presentations. Whatever practice they are applying, first they have to see 4R, right? That means right source of fertilizer, or otherwise manure, or otherwise organic manures or biofertilizer. That should be right source and right rate, right time, and right place. For example, if you are taking the wheat crop, farmer is going to apply some fertilizer. That should be right source. That means in his field he identified some nutrient deficiency. For example, phosphorus he identified, but he is going with the application of an urea, means there is no use because urea is having the only nitrogen source. Instead of going for the different he should identify first right source of fertilizer and right rate. How will you be knowing the right rate? That means first that farmer has to go for the testing of that soil. Mostly here I am talking about the soil, means whatever the fertilizer he is going to apply in the field, that should be right rate, means first he has to go for this soil testing, then only he will be knowing the what is the requirement of an fertilizer or otherwise organic manure of that soil. Because for example, if soil need only 20 kgs of nitrogen, he is applying 40 kgs of urea, means no use, because this is only the already the soil isn't having the sufficient quantity of nitrogen. It is want only 20 kgs of nitrogen, and that should be right time and right place also. These 4R stewardship has to be followed by the every farmer. Whenever we are talking till now, we have seen the what are the different practices they should follow. But coming to the government policies and the soil health relation, government already promoting the use of neem coated urea. Earlier days we used to get the normal urea in the markets, but in every fertilizer shop now we are getting neem coated urea. It is in a why they are neem coating, means it will doesn't act as after coating with the neem, it will releases the nitrogen in the very slow. That means it will act as a slow nitrogen release. It is a benefit for the farmer. Whenever he is applying in the field, it will releases the soil nitrogen very slowly, and very longer period it will be available to the plants. And coming one more thing I wanted to highlight here is National Mission on Soil Health Card. Even agriculture or forestry point of view, we are having the soil health cards. Nowadays, government itself, they are through government agencies, every farmer is getting the soil health card of their own fields. They are coming to their fields, they are collecting the soil samples, and they are testing in the laboratories, and they are giving the soil test data of that farmer field in the form of a card. In the card, he will be getting the details about what is the nutrient deficiency in that farmer field, as well as what is the fertilizers dose actually required by the soil. then that quantity only they should apply in that field. And coming to the another government priorities, as I already told, integrated nutrient management nowadays government is promoting, as well as use of an organics. Recently, we came Modi ji also told that along with the after price increase, he also suggested to go for the organic farming. That means instead of adding more amount of fertilizers, we should go for the organic menus. That means FIM, green menu, or otherwise vermicompost or biofertilizers. These are locally available and traditional methods also, and it will help as an very good source of an amount of fertilizers instead of chemical fertilizers. And coming to the second part of my topic, that is an stubble burning. As everyone will be listening about the stubble burning, I think every student will having maybe heard about the stubble burning, that is parali. Mostly in your news, Delhi air pollution we will be listening. Here in this case, I kept the one example. During 2017, due to air pollution caused due to the stubble burning, um, 1.24 million people has been in India died due to the air pollution caused due to this stubble burning. That air pollution mainly is due to stubble burning, because stubble, when a stubble is burning, it produces the particulate matter. It will affect the heart and worsen the bronchial asthma and respiratory diseases. I wanted to say that mostly we will see examples of in Delhi or North India, but rice and wheat cropping system is existing in the different parts of the India. Here in this table, you people can see in the which states we are having the rice wheat cropping systems. And in the pan India level, we are having this problem of an stubble burning. But due to winter season combined with that stubble burning only, we are having problem in mostly in Delhi. Um, Here, in relation to soil, I wanted to highlight that if farmers is going for the burning of an crop residues after the every wheat crop, before taking of the next crop, they are burning the crop residues. That is having the few negative effects on the soil, physical as well as the chemical quality. For example, in case of an soil organic matter, if they are burning the crop residues, means instead of that means they are reducing the organic source of an organic sources that is required for the carbon, because whatever organic matter is in there in the form of an crop residues, after the decomposition by the microorganisms, that will be released into the soil as a form of an carbon, and that will be sequestrated in the soil. It will automatically increases the soil quality. Due to this burning of an crop residues, one side they are removing the organic matter from that soil, and another side it is also reducing the macro and the micronutrient quantities of a soil. And in this example, you can see due to the paddy straw burning or otherwise paddy straw removal, different nutrients are getting lost. For example, nitrogen, 5.5 kg per tons of nitrogen content is being lost. Phosphorus, 2.3 kgs of per tons of an phosphorus is being lost. This is converted into the rupees per hectare, means 370 rupees per hectare of a nitrogen is being lost. Coming to the residual burning, what is the alternative to the burning of an crop residues? Farmer every time before taking up the next crop, they are burning the residues, because they are having the shorter duration for the taking up of next crop. They should prepare the fields, but instead of stopping them to burning of and crop residues, we should suggest some practices instead of a crop residue burning. For example, here I have kept the few practices. like bio or Pusa decomposer. IARA has been developed one decomposer that is called Pusa decomposer. This is a bio fungi based liquid solution. Um, Nowadays farmers also applying this one in their field. Actually, this is a fungi based liquid solution. We are suggesting farmers to go with this solution because it is a microbial spray. What it do is, whenever a farmer is applying in their field that microbial spray, it will decomposes the harvested stubbles in the farmer fields itself, and this is around within 20 to 25 days that entire crop stubbles will be decomposed, and it will be mixed into the soil, and it will increases the soil quality. And coming to the another practice, baling and removing the straw. Yeah, instead of cutting that stubbles, if a farmer is using this kind of an instrument machinery means, it will automatically roll that crop stubbles into the in the form of a ball, and it will remove the straw from the fields. And nowadays farmers are also using the reversible mold plow, because this in earlier simple mold plow is you going to use their in their fields. जो भी फार्मर्स फील्ड प्रिपरेशन करते समय एमबी प्लाउ के नाम से ये मशीनरी यूज करते थे, लेकिन अब हम लोग ये सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि रिवर्सिबल एमबी प्लाउ, दैट मीन्स whatever paddy straw left in the field after the combine harvester, everyone using a wheat or rice field farmers, they are using the combine harvester for harvesting of the crop. um, and we are suggesting to go for the reversible MB plow practice. And one more important machinery here is happy seeder. ये क्या है कि फार्मर कभी भी ये वीट फील्ड में नेक्स्ट क्रॉप लेने की समय ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट में क्या कर सकते हैं कि स्टबल्स बिना रिमूव करके ही वो हैप्पी सीडर यूज करके नेक्स्ट क्रॉप को सीड्स को वो उनकी फील्ड में सोइंग कर सकते हैं. मतलब क्रॉप रेसिड्यू उस फील्ड में से हटाने के लिए जरूरत ही नहीं है, और अलग से इनको बर्न करने की भी जरूरत नहीं. मतलब ये कि जो रेसिड्यूज के बीच में ये हैप्पी सीडर यूज करके वो सोइंग कर सकते हैं नेक्स्ट क्रॉप की. एक और ये कि जीरो टिल सीड कम फर्टिलाइजर. मतलब ये कि अभी तक ये सीड टिलर यूज करते थे. मतलब ये कि जो फील्ड में सीड सोइंग करते समय जो सीड ड्रिलिंग मशीन यूज करते थे, इसमें हम लोग ये बोल रहे हैं कि बिना टिलेज करते हुए, मतलब जीरो टिल, बिना टिलेज, मतलब ये एमबी प्लाउ क्या करते हैं कि स्टबल्स को वो अपने आप रिमूव करते जाती है. इसमें है कि बिना स्टबल को रिमूव करके हम लोग सीड भी डाल सकते हैं, उसके साथ साथ में हम लोग फर्टिलाइजर बेसल डोज भी हम लोग फर्टिलाइजर उसमें मिक्स करके भी डाल सकते हैं. दिस इज द यूज ऑफ जीरो टिल सीड कम फर्टिलाइजर. One more machinery is super straw management system. That is, when farmers nowadays they are using combine harvesters. This machinery can be fitted with that combined harvester. What that machine will do is, whatever paddy straw or otherwise wheat straw is there, that will cut into the small pieces, and there is no need to burn that straw before taking of the wheat crop. And among these all practices, there is an when a farmer is retaining that crop residues in his field, that is benefiting the soil directly. That means it will increases the organic matter source, then it will automatically increases the microbial microorganisms number, and it will increases the carbon sequestration rate and carbon content of that soil. And we can see it will reduce the greenhouse emissions. Whenever that farmer is going for the burning of the crop residues, it will releases the so many greenhouse gases. Then indirectly it will reduces the greenhouse gas emissions. And one more thing is better aggregation, and it will increases the high quality of organic matter and better root penetration of the next crops also. And if farmer is retaining that crop residues, means instead of removing that field, removing that stubbles from his field, he can incorporate that stubbles in that fields. It will automatically act as a composter. That means residue composting he can do. That automatically it will benefit the soil. Then one more thing is, if he is retaining the carb residues, means it will act as a good mulching agent. These are the few advantages of retaining crop residues in his farmer fields. From this topic, from my presentation, what I would like to highlight is, there is an always we will think about that, instead of going for the chemical fertilizers, we have to go for the organic manures, or otherwise single fertilizer. I wanted to say is, instead of going for the chemical fertilizers, always we say that go for the organic manures alone. But organic manures alone won't fulfill the source of a plant nutrients to the plant growth, because organic manures, for example, FIM is having the only less quantity of an NPK content. That means 0.2% of nitrogen, 0.5% of phosphorus, and 0.2% of potassium. It is only present in the FIM. That means as a supplementary source, fertilizer is required, but that fertilizer has to be soil test based quantity. That means without testing, farmer is going for the application of inappropriate quantity, or otherwise the excessive use of fertilizers. It will automatically reduces the health of the soil. Because here I wanted to highlight is soil test based application along with integrated nutrient management, that along with the organic manures, chemical fertilizers small quantity based on requirement of the soil only they have to go for. And every time we used to listen about this so many days, like World Forestry Day, or otherwise World Food Day. Different days we will celebrate, but related to the soil, World Soil Day we is going to celebrate at every year 5th December. Here I wanted to say that 5th December is an World Soil Day. Last year 2025, theme of the World Soil is healthy soils for healthy cities. When soils are healthy, our human beings will be healthy, and city side people also healthy. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that very informative presentation. Students, if you have any question, you may raise your hand.
Students, please ask if you have any doubt. All your queries will be answered.
Meanwhile, students formulate their questions. I have a few of myself, if I may ask.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
Ma'am, I wanted to know that given that this soil testing is so beneficial for the farmers, and like even I myself have seen nearby my village that farmers use a lot of NPK or urea or fertilizers in their farm. So, how prevalent is the soil testing amongst the farmers in MP and Maharashtra?
Actually, what is the case, sir? Here I am in my presentation also I have highlighted about the soil test based nutrient application. That means without testing they are going for the fertilizer application, means that is an one side it is affecting the soil health, and another side it is a waste of money, because soil already having the sufficient quantity of the nutrient content, means there is a no need of application of the fertilizers every time. Because forward, as in my presentation also I had highlighted that crop rotation, that means where if a farmer is going for the crop rotation, means every cereal, after every cereal crop, if he is saying next season pulse crop he is taking, means it will automatically increases the nitrogen fixation. That means nitrogen content is one other side it is increasing now. That means in as TFRA is located in the central Indian portion, we are working in the three states, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. We are promoting as all the farmers or forest department people go for the soil testing. Then only you go for application of this fertilizers, even organic manures or normal chemical fertilizers also.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Students, I think that you might have a lot of questions to ask here because the information provided is not just like beneficial for the society but also close to all of us. The food, our food comes from the farms, and as ma'am mentioned, 95% of the food comes from the soil. So, yes, Prabha, please go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, are there any situations where crop residue incorporation can have disadvantages, even though it is generally beneficial for the soil?
There is no negative effect because he is retaining, for example, farmer is retaining his crop residues in this field means directly is benefiting the soil quality. In another side, it is acting as a mulch for the soil moisture conservation practice. In another side, it is also acting as a compost, and it automatically reducing the release of greenhouse gas emissions, because that greenhouse gas emission we will be knowing that it will directly affect the global warming, that means climate change. All are positive benefits only. There is no negative benefits of retaining the crop residues in field. Only one point in farmer point of view, only one thing is that if he is retaining the residues in the field means that will be causing the some issues like during the crop cultivation like that. That means during field preparation, that's why they are removing that stubble, sir. But we have to change the farmer's mind that it is benefiting the soil as well as the environment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Akshay, please conclude.
Yes, sir. So, ma'am, I believe that there are no further questions. I would like to thank you so much for giving your valuable time for this session. Okay, so there is a question in the chat box. Uh, how often should a farmer realistically test their soil, and does the ideal frequency change depending on the crop?
Soil testing point of view, every time now we will suggest that soil health card means the whenever that government is issuing the soil health card, already soil test results are there. The soil health card is valid for 2 years. That means farmer no need to test every year. That's all. One 2 year soil health card is they can follow fertilizer application based on that health card itself. That means if farmer want to test his soil means every year he can test. Otherwise, if time is not sufficient means every 2 years he has to go for the testing itself. Coming to the crop change, frequency means based on the water availability in their farmers field, and as well as better if he's every time he's changing the crop rotation he's following means better, because one side it will benefit to the soil health, other side it will reduces the pest and insect attack also. I will suggest every year soil testing and every year rotation of the crops based on the availability of water and climatic conditions.
Thank you, ma'am. I believe I saw. Yes, ma'am. There's another question in the chat box. Students, you can like unmute yourself. That would be fine as well. Shrija,
In my slides, I already explained about the crop residue burning and pollution. Directly, when a farmer is burning the crop residues, it will reduce the greenhouse gases and it will increase, automatically causes the air pollution. Main due to the crop burning, it will air pollution is the main problem. That is the example of Delhi. Every winter season, we used to see in news. Yeah, please, Anika Rai.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask, you mentioned that the government is encouraging farmers in adopting sustainable practices. Ma'am, apart from only creating awareness, is the government also providing financial support or any technical support to the farmers?
Yeah, yeah. One thing is that I have so many machineries I have shown in my slides regarding crop residue retention. All these machineries the government is giving under the subsidy only, because that's why nowadays farmers are adapting that machinery practices instead of burning the crop residues in their field. And a subsidy basis only they are getting that machinery. And one more side, nowadays from so many years government is giving the fertilizers in the subsidy basis itself. Subsidy is giving from the government point of view.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, students. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your valuable time. We would like to conclude this session here, and it was really informative for all of us to learn about soil health and soil in general from an expert like you. Thank you so much for this session, and thank you, students, for joining.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.